Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the emotional causes to health issues and health imbalances from Chinese medicine. Did you know that emotions are one of the primary causes of illness in Chinese medicine? So in Chinese medicine, we say that illness causes in Chinese medicine, we say that illness is caused by imbalance. It's caused by the imbalance of qi, yin, and yang. So today I'm going to be talking about what Chinese medicine is, how Chinese medicine looks at the body, how emotions cause illness and imbalance in the body, and how it shows up through our physical health. And I'm going to give you 5 tools that you can use today to help balance out the emotional energy, to move energy through your body, so that way you can resolve some of these health issues that come up throughout our life. So, as a disclaimer, this is just educational advice. I am a doctor of Chinese medicine, but if you are needing to talk to a professional or you need to seek professional help, please do so. This is my disclaimer that this is just educational, and I am sharing this because I'm so interested in this topic. I'm so interested in understanding the deeper rooted causes and connections that are happening in our body, and we're going to talk all about it today. Emotions in Chinese medicine. Let's talk about it. So, Chinese medicine is an ancient system of medicine. It has been created for centuries and documented, researched, empirically researched, meaning that there has been practices and documented practices for thousands of years. So, the ancient Chinese used these methods. They used what they learned in practice. They used all the documentation to help fight epidemics, illnesses, imbalance, common colds, flus, different types of conditions and diseases that showed up during the ancient civilizations and during the years of and during many years, right? This was the main medicine that was used. It was like folk medicine, traditional medicine, right? This classical medicine that was traditionally used for thousands of years was used in ancient China and now is traditional Chinese medicine, which I'm going to be talking to you about today. Okay, I'm a doctor of Chinese medicine and acupuncture. I've been trained in 5 years plus of Chinese medicine and understanding what the classical Chinese medicine understands about the body. In different Asian medicines, including Chinese medicine, emotions, they say that in classical texts, emotions are one of the biggest causes to health imbalances and disease and conditions. Let's talk about that. So, Chinese medicine is going to look at the body in a holistic way. So, it's going to look at the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. So, what I love about Chinese medicine is that it's going to include all aspects. It's going to include the mental, it's going to include the emotions, what you're feeling, the experiences that you've gone through, the experiences of, that are stored in your body. And we're going to talk more about that later on in this video. And even the thoughts that you're having and how that impacts your health. It's even going to emphasize the health of your spirit, because spirit in Chinese medicine and even in ancient Asian cultures, spirit was highly regarded as a very sacred thing, right? And also the spirit has this connotation of connecting to the negative as well. So ancient Chinese believed that when you got sick, when you did have any sort of disease or illness, these were spirits or ghosts or different entities going into your body causing illness, right? That was more of the ancient traditional understanding of illness. But when we talk about illness from a modern perspective, it's a little bit different, right? Because we can understand it from a Western perspective, a biological, physiological, what's happening in the body, what's chemically showing up, what's the immune system doing when we get sick. We can, of course, look at it that way, but I'm going to be talking about the energetic causes of illness, which we're going to talk a lot about emotions. Let's dive into it. Emotions are one of the most fascinating things to me because they're essentially invisible, right? But in many ways, we can feel, right? Emotions are feelings or sensations that we have that come up that are linked to specific emotions that we know of, right? When we think about the emotion wheel, we have anger, sadness, joy. We can have grief, we can have worry, we can have anxiety, we can have all these different types of emotions on different spectrums. So, emotions, from a Chinese medicine perspective, they link it to specific organs. So, they say that everything in your body in Chinese medicine, they say every single organ system is connected, similar to a tree. A tree has roots that go all the way down into the root system, into the soil, into the dirt, into the ground, and it creates this beautiful tree with branches and leaves, and all parts of that tree are connected. The roots are connected to the leaves at the very top and the canopy, right? All parts are connected. So we're very similar to like a tree where our organs are connected to our emotions, our physical sensations. The organs are also very connected to the physiological functions, obviously, right? From Western medicine, we know this. But from an energetics perspective, we have to understand. But from an energetic perspective, the Chinese knew that the emotions were coming from these different intelligences within our body. So the Chinese believe that each organ system has a specific emotion that it's connected to. The liver is going to be connected to anger. The heart is going to be connected to joy. The lungs are going to be connected to sadness and grief. So when we talk about emotions in that way, we can almost break it down to if we have some sort of imbalance with that organ system, we can look and see, okay, what's happening on a physical level? What's happening on a mental level? What kind of thoughts are you having? What kind of thoughts have you had in the past that might have contributed to creating this imbalance? And then emotionally, where are you at? What emotions do you feel often? What emotions maybe are you not feeling that might be causing a imbalance in the body? And the reason why emotions can cause illness from a Chinese medicine perspective is because everything is essentially qi. And qi is essentially life force. It's known in many cultures as prana or ki or energy, right? It's this universal life force that animates in all things. It moves all things. And so the Chinese say that qi, when qi is stuck in the body, it causes blockages, right? Just like when we have traffic, it causes a blockage and energy is not flowing properly to these areas. It's similar to our body. When we don't have flow, because in Chinese medicine, we have these acupuncture meridians, these energy meridians, that energy flows up and down just like a highway. When those places are blocked, that's when we have illness. That's when we have different physical sensations like pain or fevers come through, or all these different things that can show up in our body that tells us that there's an imbalance. Emotions are one of the most primary ways that energy can get blocked. The reason for that being is because in many ways, I have theories on this. This is my theory, okay? My theory, I'm going to quickly say this. My theory is that we have not been properly taught how to move energy in our body. Because at the end of the day, it's energy. Emotions are energy. They're energy in motion. And when we're not taught early on in our lives to move energy, or that emotions are energy, there is an immediate block that happens because we don't know how to deal with anger. We don't know how to deal with joy. At least that's my case. And we're going to talk more about a case study, two case studies today. One is going to be about me, and the other one is going to be about another client that I've had before in the past, about how emotions get stuck in the body and we actually have to move them through different tools that I'm going to share with you at the end of this video. So stay tuned. So emotions cause dis-ease. So when there's dis-ease in the body, there is discomfort, there is blockage, energetic blockage. There is this traffic that's happening in the body, right? No one likes to sit in traffic. That's what's happening in the body when we don't move our emotions through our system. And we can think about it from a Western point of view, from a polyvagal point of view. We can understand that the nervous system is turning on these responses, is turning on the fight, flight, or it's turning on the rest and digest. These are different aspects of our nervous system. But when we get stuck in one mode, if we get too stuck in the rest and digest, if we get too stuck in the fight or flight, which oftentimes a lot of our society that's so go, go, go right now, we are very much stuck in our go, go, go mentality. We get stuck in that fight or flight. That is also when we have imbalance, right? When a mode, we are stuck in a mode of being, that's when imbalance can show up. And so really what I've been taught from my teachers is that it's like a wave. We have to be riding a wave of these different emotions. Emotions will come like a wave and they will pass. And having the different tools that can help balance us, ground us, harmonize us when we are feeling those things. And also I want to just emphasize here, having a community, having support, having people around us, having professional help to hold space for us when we are going through these emotional waves and intense experiences and things is so, so key. So let's talk about some case studies. I'm going to share 2 case studies. One is going to be about me. I'm going to quickly talk about my case study, and then I'll go on into a client's case study. So I'm going to share about how I struggled with hormonal acne for many, many years. I had an hormonal imbalance. I went to see many, many practitioners, acupuncturists, herbalists. I was changing my diet, changing my lifestyle, changing so many aspects of health. I was really targeting shifting and balancing out my hormones from this holistic perspective. I was doing all the things on the physical level, exercising, really detoxing my body, all those things, eating right. On an emotional level, I think that's where I realized that that was kind of my blind spot now that I'm thinking about it. And spiritually, I was doing a lot of research, like what does hormonal imbalances mean? What does acne mean? What does this actually mean? Like why does this show up in the body? And I started understanding that your subconscious, your mind, the thoughts that you have create your experience as well in combination with your emotions. And it was almost like in many ways manifesting this external of imbalance. And it was showing me, hey, there's something that you need to look at here, and there's something deeper for you to learn. So when I took it from that approach, it wasn't until I fast forward into maybe a few years, maybe a year after that, I was by myself and I had looked at myself in the mirror and I said, you, Lynn, you are beautiful no matter what. Doesn't matter what you look like, how you feel, doesn't matter. I love you no matter what. And I really looked in my eyes. I really did this mirror work, which is not easy, you guys. So not easy to do this. It's very vulnerable. It's very, even when you're on your own, you're doing this. It's like, you're in a vulnerable place. You're looking in your own eyes. It's very intimate. And I kid you not, a month after that, my acne healed and my hormones balanced out. Because in some ways, there was some discrepancy happening on a mental and emotional level that I wasn't looking at. There was some deeper self worth that I needed to claim in myself in order for like my self worth to get to a vibrational match to what I actually wanted. So you can say that's manifesting, you can say that's doing the work, all those things. But I really was calling in something that I desired. I was really making the shifts. I was doing all the things to heal myself, and it paid off. So, case number one, that is literally to say that your emotions and your mental energy have so much to do with what you're experiencing in your life. Case study number 2, let's talk about it. So I've had many, many clients come to me for psychosomatic illnesses. So psychosomatic really is the psyche, is the mind, and somatic is the body. So psychosomatic, when you put the word together, it's very much like there is something in the mind that's causing a shift in the body that's being expressed, and it doesn't have a logical understanding. It doesn't have a straight physical root cause. So I really love working with people when there is a deeper rooted thing going on, because I really feel like, again, emotions are a primary cause of illness. So when we talk about emotions are not good or bad, right? We sort of deem them as good or bad because that's how we've understood them in society, but it's just energy at the end of the day. It's just chi, it's just prana, it's just ki, it's just universal energy that moves in all things. It's not good nor bad, it just is. How we have It's our understanding of emotions and what it makes us feel and the vibration that it brings us to. And I also want to say the neural pathways that it builds in our brain that actually creates our reality and creates what then we create in our own lives through our behaviors and our habits. Because if we're building this neural pathway, or if we have a neural pathway from childhood that is very much still connected to my skin won't be clear unless, or I won't be beautiful unless my skin is clear, right? And there's shame connected to that. That will still continue because we haven't learned a new neural pathway, a new way of thinking in our own brain that tells us otherwise, that tells us a different reality. Because we can create a different reality, it's just through understanding what we can do on a holistic perspective. also really believing in it, right? It wasn't until I was like, and I think there was some other things about my case study that was like, okay, I really let go of the result, and that's when it came. So that's a whole nother conversation. But let's talk about the case study number 2. I had a client come to me who was experiencing a lot of difficulty speaking her truth. You know, she had told me that she had experienced some trauma in the past and it was affecting her. She told me that she was having a lot of dreams, terrifying dreams, like nightmares and night terrors and things like this sort. And I would sit with her and I would do some somatic work. So I would do trauma, Tao of trauma work, which is a technique created by Elaine Duncan, who is an acupuncturist and a somatic practitioner. I was using Tao of trauma skills and techniques with this client, and essentially it's a lot of mindfulness, somatic mindfulness. It's a lot of somatic skills. So it's really tuning into the body in the safe space together and sort of like visiting and meeting these sensations and talking through the sensations and moving the energy. You know, it's not like acupuncture where we're like putting needles and doing body work. It's very much on an energetic level, a vibrational level. I took this client into a session. I did a technique on her, and I kid you not, she started feeling these sensations, and then it brought her to her heart. And there was a couple of memories that kept coming to her. And of course, in somatic work, there's a lot about titrating. You're almost like pendulating how much you go into these sensations, how much you go and revisit these memories, because they can be a lot. They can be very intense. I really highly recommend working with a practitioner who knows what they're doing, who knows they're certified, they've gone through these skills and have worked with teachers in learning these type of tools, these somatic tools. And I worked with this client, and I kid you not, the sensations brought her all the way up to her neck, and we held our attention there together, and she felt this dark smoke and just like energy move from her throat, and it was like something was clearing, like her ability to be able to speak up, her ability to be able to share her voice, her ability to be able to say no in any situation. And that was so powerful. I'll never forget that. So doing this work is so valuable. And I think that we often don't talk about the deeper causes, the root causes, which are connected to things that are unseen, right? The mental, the emotional, the spiritual causes of illness. We don't talk about it often, but it's something that I want to highlight here because so many of us go through different situations or health conditions that we're like, it's difficult, right? And we kind of run into these blockages, but I'm here to share with you that it's possible. It's definitely possible. And there's many different ways that you can navigate it and that you can balance out energy. And I'm going to share with you 5 tools for healing emotions. My number 1 tool is meditation and mindfulness. So cultivating some sort of meditative practice, whether it's walking, hiking, dancing, like seriously, if you're moving your body, you're moving energy. And again, chi is when it's stuck, that's when illness comes, right? That's when imbalance shows up in our body. The second tool I'm going to say is journaling. I highly recommend the book The Artist's Way, or just creating some sort of journaling practice where this is your safe space. This is where you share any feelings that you're experiencing, just sharing anything that comes through in your days, in your dreams, any emotions that you can just put there and allow them to be there in a safe place, like it's their home. Really placing the thoughts, the mental energy, the emotional energy in a place that's outside of you is very important. My third tip is going to be moving the body. I talked a little bit about this, but moving the body in any way. So going outside, grounding yourself, going to the park, sitting on the grass with your friends, having a picnic, going to the beach, like all those things. I also want to say shaking. Like one practice that I do is I shake in the morning, just like how animals shake. Dogs will shake, and almost all animals shake because they're shaking off residual energy that they don't need, and they're shaking stagnation. So this is another tool. And then I also want to say breathing is such an amazing tool. Breathing is the tool. It's the most accessible tool that we have. And really doing a conscious belly breath. So focusing 2 inches below your umbilicus, your belly button, and breathing into that place. And even if it's hard for you to breathe in that place because you breathe in your chest or you breathe it's difficult for you to get there, practice and you will get better, I promise. And the last thing I want to say is tapping. You can move energy through tapping acupuncture points. So, acupuncture points, I talked a little bit about the meridians, which are these energetic channels that run up and down your body like highways. But essentially, along those meridians, we have acupuncture points, which are essentially portals or holes for these energies to sit in. So, what we can do is we can move energy by pressing on these points. One of them I'm going to talk about is this point here. It's halfway through this bone, and you're going to just press on that point and just allow yourself. And remember that if you're pregnant, please be cautious pressing on this point. But that is a really powerful point. It's really great for clearing the head, clearing any headaches, helping to just calm us, helping to move energy wherever our body needs it. It's a really powerful point. And then I want to say my fourth thing is finding some sort of supportive community, finding some sort of supportive professional support, somebody that can hold space for you. Having a support system is crucial. And then my fifth thing is establish connection to faith, spirit, or a deeper connection to nature. This is my fifth thing. I I'm just like, this one is one of the things that I just love so much because I do this on a daily basis. Nature is a sanctuary for me. Connecting to my own spirit through my heart is a sanctuary for me. Having faith and hope in something so much greater than me to hold me on a greater level that I can almost release the control of and say, I'm supported no matter what, because we do live in a field and a world of chi and energy, and that chi and energy is responding to us. So I do want to share some books very quickly before we log off. Some books I want to say and recommend is Biology of Belief. I want to recommend The Body Keeps the Score, which talks a lot about psychosomatic illness, talks a lot about trauma that's held in the body, emotions that are held in the body. And I also want to talk about, those are the 2 books that I want to recommend for this video. And I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll tune in with you to the next video.